Don't Listen Alone, Short Horror Stories by Layla Brinley. Episode 2, The Asylum. I'm a security guard at an asylum. Well, my boss doesn't like it when I call it that, so I'll call it a psychiatric hospital. Sounds fine, right? Psychiatric hospitals help people. I see them as really good places, no different from the way someone might look at a normal hospital. Saving people's lives and making sure they're safe. But those are normal. The one I work at, the New York Home for Psychiatric Illnesses, is nothing of the sort. We house mentally insane criminals, murderers, kidnappers, and worse stuff, like cannibals. I wouldn't call it a very safe place, so to speak. It's very secure, though. Top-notch security, if I do say so myself. Probably around 11 p.m., we went into lockdown. One of our most dangerous criminals had somehow escaped. There was no camera footage showing its occurrence, only that one moment he was sitting on his cot, rocking back and forth with his knees hugged to his chest. Then, the camera glitched, and he was gone, sheets on the floor and cell door wide open. Immediately, we sealed all exits and doors, deploying armed guards to hunt him down. Now you're probably wondering, why is he so dangerous? What on earth could he have possibly done? Well, my friend, that's quite the question. Let me start from the beginning of what I know about him. Mr. Thomas Hopper. Remember when I mentioned cannibals earlier? Well, he's the main guy. Going by the childish name, Nom Nom, Hopper traveled around North America, leaving a disturbing trail in his wake. Many of his first victims were in isolated Canadian towns, so small they were off the map. This meant his kills often went unsolved, as the local sheriff's departments never had the proper equipment or funding to solve such a gruesome murder. However, it's said that many of his strikes were between the early morning hours of 1 a.m. to 5 a.m., when no one was awake to witness them. Despite how far apart his murders were, they were always done the same way. Head sawed open with a sharp bread knife, the top of the head sitting upside down in the victim's lap, the knife in their left hand. The body would be placed at the dining or kitchen table, propped upright by the chair. Finally, and most disturbingly, there would be chopsticks sitting in the empty skull, brain all eaten by Nom Nom Hopper. He wasn't caught until just last year, on Friday, October 13th, if you can believe it. I guess spooky days are for spooky people. Either way, of course his cruel and violent murders played a big role in making him so dangerous, but the lengths he went to in order to make sure no one knew it was him is the scary part. He burnt off his fingerprints, wore contacts in his eyes, bought his shoes a size too small, and donned a black face mask. No one knows how he got around, but it's speculated he hitchhiked to wherever he needed to go. That's the story. We're not sure about his family, where he came from, or if Thomas Hopper is even his real name. There's never been any records found. Now that you've got the backstory, back to the asylum. Psychiatric hospital. My job during the lockdown was monitoring the camera. I sat in the control room, silent besides the wails of the prisoners in their cells, the occasional crackle of my walkie-talkie, and the whir of the monitors. When I saw a person run into the main corridor. Quickly, I launched forward and slammed my fist down on the emergency alarm button. Clicking on the PA system, I shouted into the mic,
"All available guards, report to the main corridor. The subject has been spotted. I repeat, all available guards, report to the main corridor. The subject has been spotted."
Through the cameras, I saw the guards rushing to the location I'd told them to go. Nom Nom turned at the end of the hall and froze with his hands up.
"Please, don't shoot,"
I heard him exclaim, though the audio was fuzzy through the control room's one speaker.
"Don't move and we won't,"
one of the guards replied. Following the hospital regulations, I clicked on the PA again.
"Please apprehend the subject and return him to his room."
I watched as a doctor appeared in the hall, a syringe in her hand, and walked steadily towards Hopper.
"Please, no, I'm not Nom Nom. I'm not Hopper. You can't send me back to that cell, please,"
Hopper yelled. He struggled against the guards who were holding him back.
You can't! You can't!"
The doctor took hold of his arm and began to move the needle towards his skin. At the last moment, Nom Nom Hopper broke free from a guard. Grabbing the needle from the doctor, he plunged it into her flesh. Then he elbowed a guard in the stomach, wrenching the gun out of his hands.
"You can't hurt me. I'm not him. You can't put me in that cell. I want to go home."
He waved the gun wildly at the guards. When someone tried to approach him, he fired. The guard fell to the floor. I panicked and turned on the PA system again.
Thomas Nom Nom Hopper, put down the gun or guards will open fire. If you shoot again, they will fire on you.
Hopper screamed and fired at the speaker, preventing me from announcing into the main corridor again.
Final chance to put the gun down,
The guard said. Hopper screamed again as he turned and sprinted down the corridor towards the lobby door.
Open fire!
Someone yelled. The loud blasts of gunfire filled the asylum as the bullets took their mark. Hopper collapsed mid-step, a bullet through the back of his skull and through the front of his face, making it mangled and unrecognizable. The body was quickly sealed in a body bag and sent to the morgue. The corridor scrubbed clean of gore in time for the inmates to awaken for breakfast. It was around 8 a.m. the next morning when we received the phone call. The body was not that of the infamous serial killer and cannibal, Thomas Nom Nom Hopper, but rather one of the middle-aged college professor, Dr. Jonathan Smith, who had been reported missing just about 1 month ago. Immediately, a police investigation was launched. A week later, hidden tunnels were discovered branching off the air ducts leading out of the hospital. However, no traces of Nom Nom were discovered, meaning he's still out there, hunting victims and eating their brains like some kind of zombie. Make sure to lock your doors at night, or you could be next. Thank you for listening to the Don't Listen Alone Scary Stories podcast. Please like this episode and follow the channel. Thank you.